The following is a production of Different Brains. Visit us at differentbrains.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Hackey Reitman. Welcome to Exploring Different Brains. In this first part of our year in review episode, let's hear from some of the great and insightful neurodiversity self-advocates we have highlighted in 2024. Let's start with Ali Idriss.
So the ER is chaos, right? There's so much going on. Many of us say there's kind of a requirement to work in the ER. You have to have ADHD to be able to work in there. People say that. So I personally thrive in that setting. As I said, I'm able to fall into that hyper focus during those emergency situations. I'm able to mute everything out, distractions at least. I'm not going to mute the doctors, nurses, and patient out. I got to be in touch with that. But it helps me stay hyper focused on what's going on. The movement is huge as well. A setting where I'm able to move during cognitive tasks helps me stay engaged. And even the learning style of EMT school, half of it is, the books and the exams, but the other half is training, clinical setting. It's these rounds that's how I am able to learn.
Diane Gould. What can we do and what can you tell? What can you say to the people who might be thinking right now as they watch or listen to this? I think I might have PDA. What advice would you have for them?
I want them to know that independence is a false construct and people need people, and autistic PDA people really need a village, and they need people to help create this village. This whole sense that we have to do things alone is very harmful and false. Most of us don't. And I also think that we just need to stop looking at, the concept that needing others to help us and so give us the support we need, is a luxury or something we should be thankful for, whether it's a child in class or an adult who needs support at their job. I think we're all entitled and deserve the best life we can live. And I think for especially PDA individuals, that takes a lot of support, a lot of help from people.
Zachary Tovin. Zach, what is one piece of advice you would have for someone with autism who wants to become a self-advocate?
My advice to that is go to as many self-advocacy training programs as possible, and also practice too. Practice definitely helps with that, and also the way you think about autism too. Don't think of autism as such a bad thing. Think of it as something. Use it, to your advantage, and don't let it bring you down, because it's unique in its own special way. And I try to get people to not really look at autism as a really bad thing. And I feel like being different is actually, in a way, is actually better than, because sometimes who wants to be normal?
Shelley Bear and Jairo Arana.
One of the things I've learned with my autism experiences, and it's mentioned quite a lot, is that every experience with autism is different. So that's something that I've also learned by interacting with other people on the spectrum. I feel that with self-advocacy, we get to express our needs, our wants, our concerns, whatever anxieties we have, about being involved in the world and being able to participate in the world, being able to navigate in the world around us. I think that it's important to have our voices, our experiences out there expressed.
I think too, some often people with disabilities were dismissed or things were done for them, to them. So it's really important to have our voices, represented and heard, and not somebody else like talking for us. The mantra from the independent living rights movement is nothing about us without us, because many things were always being done for us and to us. So that's part of what we teach in Project SALT, getting your voice out heard, your lived experience. Like Hyra was saying, it's also different for everybody. Even though I have arthritis, there are many people that have different types, or, it's not visible. So I like, Hyra, what you said about you see one person with autism, it's one person with autism.
Anna Diaz.
So Anna, how did you first receive your diagnosis of epilepsy?
So I was in, I want to say kindergarten or first grade, one of the two. We went on a field trip and I just collapsed. The school called my mom and was like, "Hi, we're calling because your daughter had a seizure," and she's like, "No, she didn't," because from all that time, she thinks I'm like completely normal, so she doesn't expect something like that. I was fine, and then we went to the doctor, and really the best test to take to know if you have epilepsy or if it was just like a one-time seizure is an EEG, which is basically they put leads on all around your head, and they look at the electrical activity in your brain. And if you have abnormal electrical activity, that's when you know that you're having seizures, and if it's multiple, you have epilepsy. So I think it just changed everything. Like, I give super kudos to teenagers or young adults that get a diagnosis of epilepsy, because they've lived their life from 1 to 19 one way, and then you immediately have to change everything because you can't drive now. When you go swimming or to the beach or something, you might want to have somebody with you. So it just changes everything. And I know for sure that my mom knows way more about epilepsy than she ever wanted to know because of the situation. But she advocates, and my family advocates for it too now. And we just hope for it to be more. We hope to hear more about epilepsy in the future, for sure.
Finally, let's hear from Shawn Smith.
For me, it was not having the right support in place to help me, and asking for help but feeling unheard, and just continuing to grind away with like administrative stuff piling up, and it got to be so overwhelming, and like money was rolling in, it was great, but then there was just this whole other side that I couldn't deal with, and it cost me. It cost me a lot. I ended up having to take a lot of time off work. I whittled down my clients so that it was basically just, kind of a skeleton crew that I was seeing 3 or 4 people a week. And realized in hindsight, if I had just taken the time off and not seen those people, I probably would have been better off. But some of the things that I did that really kind of helped me, was seeing a doctor, going on antidepressants. I found this thing called hydration therapy, which is not new in the States, but it's new to us here, which is basically like you go to see a doctor and you get an IV, and there's different things that you can get in that IV that your body needs. And so doing that regularly, really kind of leaning into my hobbies and interests, and just trying to spend more time, like more quality time with my kids and my wife, but also like reaching out to friends. But one of the biggest things is time. It takes time.
Exploring Different Brains Brains is a production of Different Brains. Visit us at differentbrains.org.